Yes, there's no army, there's no agbero, there's no police, there's nobody threatening you, and there's nobody asking you to get out of the polling unit as a journalist doing their job and recording exactly what many people need to see. If you don't have anything hidden, you should not be scared. But many criminals in Africa today that have taken advantage of our people, and this is why we are saying we can't continue like this, and this is now the appropriate time to demand a total exit from the shithole country known as Nigeria that failed to represent Africa for the last 63 years. It has been a complete failure, and it will remain a failure until we all ask that we should review if we truly want to remain one block or we want to go our separate ways. But since many people do not want to go their separate ways, they still want to keep Nigeria for whatever reason, I don't know. But we know that there's no amount of keeping Nigeria, it is not going to work. Nigeria failed across every part of the United Kingdom. And on that note, we will be reporting. Let's see if we can, the studio number will be on in just about a few minutes. We're still trying to get some of the other platforms in so that we can be able to show you that this is what we have said, that if truly you want a better country, you should not have any reason to be scared. But because Nigeria and so many other countries that have failed for over, period of time, continue to fail, and it is not going to work. So if you are expecting it to work, you are deceiving yourself. So I'm a Bosiwa Junison. Just bear with me as I'm still trying to get one of my platform in properly, where you can see, the outcome of many of those that are coming out of these polling unit this afternoon. Once again, this is how the election has been conducted for decades in Europe, where nobody would be allowed to tell you otherwise. You vote for who you want without being intimidated. But because Nigeria is not a country, intimidation has gone in for too long, and this is why we are now saying that for the interest of everybody, for the interest of everyone, we should now call for either the Constitution of Nigeria to be brought down, because that Constitution is a failure and it remains so. So let me see if I can bring in Bishop Additional to speak to us and give us his own view of how things is done in Nigeria as against how it is done here. So we're putting a call to our political analyst and also a business analyst, Bishop Additional. Hopefully we get through to him. We're struggling this afternoon, but let's hope that we can bring him in to come and have a discussion with us. I will allow you to go straight up. You're live with us already on the platform, and we can hear you. And let me see if I can hear you. Go ahead, Bishop.
Thank you very much, Koiki.
Go ahead, sir.
Because the mandate of who is ruling is not the people's will. security, no refundable, and you think you will not do it for either do or die. So everything in Nigeria is wrong from the beginning. The mindset of the people running Nigeria government completely. And after that, it was SUB for all the legislature because they stood by him against the mandate of the people. And this is not an allegation. This is what is vividly done and in record and in the media. So what is happening there in UK is completely different from what's happening in Nigeria because this is a setting of an organized society, a standard and organized society. Nigeria is not meant to be organized. Because of the election, this is madness. When you are collecting sachet of Indomie, a pair of clothes because of election, this is madness. You should have been taking. You don't need that. But somebody wants to go and walk and represent. We stand by the representative and say, go and represent us. And this is our mandate. When you get there, do it for us. And it stands like that. But in Nigeria, it is business. It is business.
So
We can't compare. This is uncomparable. And that's why we are saying we need our sovereignty back. It is only mad people that we say Nigeria is mad, completely mad. Either is a diaspora or living in Nigeria. It's only a mad person that will support Nigeria at this stage. Thank you.
let me ask one or two questions, Bishop, as we are monitoring these election going on.
From the politicians themselves. The problem starts from the politicians. How will a party be asking an aspirant to pay 100 million naira for a ticket, not refundable? And you think that person, the politician, it starts from the politicians, and they are not willing to repay from it.
Wow.
And this is madness. It is not madness because when they get to public office, they are not going for the interest of the citizen, they are going for the interest of the party, as if the party is the entire Nigeria. Sometimes they disobey the constitution of Nigeria and obey the constitution of the party. And make the party conscious to bring it happened during Obasanjo. And the constitution states that any other rule that contradicts that constitution that Obasanjo followed, and nothing happened.
Okay.
Nothing happened. Number two is the citizen should stop being a neutral. And what made the citizen I won't blame all the citizens because not in Nigeria there is no social group structure for electoral. But in fact in Nigeria, 80% of Nigerians don't vote. And you should not blame their wages because they know at the electoral poll they are going there to fight for that politician into office. So that is Nigeria's scenario. It is not a democratic setting as usual. Nigeria's scenario is that's why some politicians use purpose in order to abuse is inevitable. The purpose of everything is being used and you are showing them the proper way. So that the corruption has hit into the in-depth of them. They love the corruption the way it's going. And that's the reason you will see some mad people when you are talking about the right thing, some mad people will be speaking against you, ready to stop you. And you'll be wondering that is this one normal? They're not normal because they are already baptized into corruption. And they feel corruption is the way of life. You should do like that.
Okay.
And those are the people that will travel to diaspora to come and enjoy the beauty of another man's liberty and freedom. After they enjoy, they will come back to Nigeria to loot, to misbehave. So that country is a shithole and not war. And people should stop respecting Nigeria as a country. The nations, that should be our campaign. The nations should stop respecting
Thank you so much. That is our commentator analyst. You can also call in. Our backend team up where can you put the studio line out for those that might want to participate. Let me remind you of what Senator Mantu, told us. During the election as the 2019 was coming up. This is what Senator Mantu told every single Nigerians as at that time. Let's get that clip in. Once again, this is Koikimedia reporting. As also we say, happy Independence Day to those of our listeners from the United States of America. This is Koikimedia, and this is what Senator Mantu said.
Senator Mantu, can I just quickly clarify? Did I hear you say that you helped rig elections before now?
Let me tell you one thing. Yes. Yes, I did. Because I'm now confessing the truth. I know what I want money. I don't have to go and change it. But when you provide money, you give them tiny points to help you if they see any chance that they should favor you. You provide much security. And all our elections in the past have been in this game for 40 years. And I tell you, each time by providing those resources, financial inducement to the officials, I can win election.
Do you think that we can diminish or remove that influence as 2019 approaches?
I believe so because, you see, if people are going to get like me and they refuse to do it, the players, unless we give before somebody will take.
Thank you so much, Daisy man.
Certainly my people tendencies, just because where I come from, that must change. I am tired of living in poverty in the midst of plenty. I cannot, even no matter how much you have, every day you see people coming to you, relations, friends, this and that. My wife has given birth, my mother is hospital, this and that, every day. But if everybody had enough to take care of himself or herself, they will come bothering you to say, give me this, give me that. And I believe the primary concern is the well-being of the people. Then, when I have that leader, such leaders, I can tell you they will judiciously and prudently use our resources for the common good of everybody.
Well, that was Senator Mantu, some few years ago. You can call into the program while the program is still on air. Right now, as many residents in this particular jurisdiction in the London Borough are making their way into that polling station, they must have their ID. They must also be able to cast the vote before 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., you will not be able to cast your vote, and that means that you would have to wait for another 4 years. Let us remind you that this election also have independent candidates that are contesting. Likewise, we have the two major political parties, which is the Labour Party, and likewise the Conservative as well. We have the Leave Them. The question we should be asking Nigerians is, when do you expect to have a reliable, truly without violence election? If you remember that the election that was held last year in Nigeria, the Nigeria election, we saw how manipulation, intimidation, and many things that went wrong in that election. The Nigeria election in 2023, that was last year, that brought in President Bola Tinubu. Was it an election that many of you saw that it was probably non-violent, or do you think that that election was as violent as many other elections that has been held? Let me remind you some of the scenes that took place during the election in Nigeria, as many Nigerians end up to be scared of their lives, as observers also had to run for their lives.
Chaos at a public booth in Lagos. Ashes were found in the air on Saturday afternoon. People screamed, scattered, searching for cover as armed men jumped out of a car in Nigeria's commercial hub. They grabbed ballot boxes, leaving papers strewn across the road, and voters angry.
that was one out of many of the violence that took place during the election of 2023. We also saw how many intimidation and many people were also attacked. Once again, this is Koikimedia reporting from many of those. Let us listen to, as at the election, some of the observers, the European Union observer that came to Nigeria as at last year during that election period.
The European Union Election Observation Mission in Nigeria has disclosed that at least 21 persons have lost their lives to electoral violence.
Yeah, that's 21 people lost their lives to election violence in Nigeria last year. The question is how many people have lost their life in this election in the UK since morning? I can literally tell you that no continue in this crazy system known as Nigeria. It is time that Nigeria breaks apart.
And governorship elections. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the chief observer, Barry Andrews, also explained that there were records of vote buying in several parts of the country. He added that there was voter apathy as voters' expectations during the presidential elections were not met.
I did try to draw attention to this fact. It's far more than a detail. It's absolutely tragic that 21 people, according to our latest information, lost their lives in election-related violence, and that's really unacceptable. And we want to pass our condolences. Inevitable that it has the effect of suppressing voter participation. And unfortunately, that is something that was very clearly seen on Saturday.
The EU observer, however, commended INEC on the improvement made in the 2023 elections compared to 2019 based on the recommendations made by the EU to the Commission.
Well,
Also carried
as we get into almost 4 hours left to go at exactly 10 p.m. local time, many of the polling stations will be closed and the result will be coming out as swiftly as possible, and hopefully by this time tomorrow we should be getting, who will become the next Prime Minister in the United Kingdom, but prefer to be your own candidate. And then after that, you return that and put that in the ballot box, and then you come out. This is Al Jazeera reporting about the violence that took place in Nigeria last year as Koikimedia in Kennington. Hopefully we'll be in Kennington very soon, but right now we're in London Borough of Haringey, where the reporting is coming from.
Another to address the causes of the insurgency, which are not limited to creating poverty, creating private vulnerabilities, and creating infrastructure deficit. Thanks to the biggest military spending in Nigeria, areas overrun by Boko Haram fighters have been taken back. The significant profit attached by Boko Haram and ISIL affiliates is boosting towards has led to the killing of hundreds of people in attacks on civilians, security forces, and governments. Police say there are at least 88 armed groups across Nigeria, from bandits to fighters and militias, supported by state officials. These groups heads have the capacity to not only disrupt the upcoming presidential election,
was not able to be done due to the Boko Haram and the ISIS and the jihadis. As we continue to report from here, we will be moving swiftly just to show you the surroundings and tell you before we close this transmission that there is no intimidation. Nobody, will intimidate you. But we saw the electoral violence that took place across Nigeria in 2023. Again, this is Al Jazeera 13 years ago is this particular clip you're about to listen to.
They've lost everything after the election. Salisu says he witnessed his own brother being killed.
They come with guns, heavy guns with heavy ammunition. They started shooting us. We lost as communities that are living there. I lost my house. In fact, my house, my other brother's house got burned, my car burned. In fact, I have to begin my life again. I don't know. In fact, really, I don't know where to start now.
It was a revenge attack following the burning of churches and killings of Christians after President Goodluck Jonathan, a Christian from the south, won last Saturday's presidential poll. The village where Salisu and his family are holed up has some 13,000 displaced
Have you voted already?
Around 48,000 have fled their homes. Aid agencies are struggling to meet even the most basic
this is Koikimedia. So you were not allowed to vote because you didn't have your ID. So you have to.
Since Monday. They're angry and
You couldn't find it. Now you got it. You're gonna cast your vote. All the best.
Aid is on its way, but fears of a looming health crisis are growing.
Where they sleep, the children urinate, they bath around there, and because of water, mosquitoes in the night can cause maybe malaria and other things to them.
President Goodluck Jonathan says the crisis is a reminder of the events that led to Nigeria's bloody 1967 civil war, in which 1 million people were killed. Security is being tightened nationwide. But Salisu feels that's of little help now and blames the country's politicians for the crisis.
This thing is happening because of bad leadership doesn't claim truth. In so many countries, people, both Christian and Muslim, are living together. They understand themselves. But I don't see any reason why we in Nigeria we cannot live in a single place. We cannot live together. It's very, very bad.
A nighttime curfew remains in place across Kaduna State, but there's nowhere for these people to go anyway. Al Jazeera, Kaduna State in northern Nigeria.
This clip I've just played is 13 years ago, and nothing seems to have changed after 13 years. But let us listen to, remember her, the former, you can't see her very well, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, as she was being asked about the election in Nigeria. This is our country where nobody intimidates, nobody kills, but in Nigeria,
crisis and voter suppression. The British High Commissioner Katrina Lang laid down these concerns at a news briefing in Abuja. Abida Lawal has details.
Thank you so much, our mother Omolara Yabo Ajala, for joining.
Successive government have struggled to create a sense of national unity in a complex country whose borders were drawn by British colonialists, incorporating more than 200 ethnic groups. Democratization and development have progressed at different speeds in the country's disparate regions. As Nigeria approaches another major election, the British High Commission is concerned about the security of the polls. The kind of violence that takes place in the run-up to the election, the period we're in now. There'll be the period of the election, the day of the elections themselves, where I think what we're probably most worried about is voter suppression, actually, trying to prevent people actually even going out to exercise their vote. And then perhaps the thing we're most worried about is actually post-election violence. As we saw in, I can't remember the year, but the year when Jonathan took over government, there was a lot of post-election violence. If parties and supporters feel this election was no lower, my candidate should have won, there is a risk of violence, and that's why I said in my opening remarks how important it is the leaders of political parties press upon all their supporters now for another area that needs progress in Nigerian democratic journey is the inclusion of women in governance. We all know that
all done now.
Nigeria will succeed.
I said all done now. That's it. Thank you.
That's one issue of concern, and other discrimination issues and discriminations on need to make sure they're included. It ended on a high note for Nigerians to be proud of their democracy, as it is an achievement that should not be underestimated. The British High Commission is once again hammed on the message of unity. It hopes that the outcome of the coming election will be the reflection and yearnings of Nigerians. Habida Lawal, TVC News.
Well, that was, the former British High Commissioner to Nigeria, speaking just before the election that was held. As our grandmothers are telling me that, our grandmother Comfort Logunja says, I have voted near my house in 2 to 3 minutes, easy, without any problems, and that's exactly what people are doing. People are going in, they're coming out, no intimidation. mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ní gbogbo tẹ́tí wọ́n wà ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Gbogbo àwọn tẹ̀lé tán wọlé tán jáde, they are doing what is called a civic duty, and that's exactly what should have happened, if not in most African countries. But unfortunately, most of us that live in Europe, we are privileged to do our civic duty without any sort of intimidation. Thank you so much for the super chat and the concern that you also give all the time, and also as many Yoruba people are bringing the broadcast to closer, and we will be moving maybe somewhere else. But at about tomorrow, we'll be heading to number 10 Downing Street, where Koikimedia will be reporting from there as well. But for now, let us go and listen to what Professor Adebanji Akintoye told us regarding what we should be doing with our politics when we have our own independent country. Right now, the Yoruba nation that are agitating does not want a country where intimidation happens during election. And this is why we are saying to ourselves, let us work very hard. Let us do what needs to be done. Let us continue the awareness. Let us create campaign and make sure that many Yoruba people understand what truly is freedom. This is freedom being enjoyed today by many Nigerians that are living in UK, but yet they continue to tell Nigerians at all that one day they will experience the same thing, but that one day has gone to over 63 years of a failed country that doesn't respect human rights. This is me reporting what Babakito told us, as let's listen to it together. With us.
The good news, path to prosperity in our Orilede Yoruba by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. We're looking at the number 6 of this particular document. We shall clean up our politics.
Just about a few minutes ago, what you're watching right now is a live transmission from the polling station where the election 2024, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak called for the election, and that election is now being held today, almost the same day with the Independence Day of America. We'll be following the American election coming up in November. Let's listen more.
The political parties have been the central factor in the making of the country's reign of corruption and gross indiscipline. The Nigerian political party is simply an association of the personal enrichment of its leading members and a place of economic refuge for some poor persons. In short, a party belongs to the few leaders who use its influence to amass huge personal wealth. This party proceeds stay on top and in money-stealing positions by expanding a little part of their ill-gotten wealth to breed and feed an army of anger for cronies and violent talks for intimidating, physically hurting, or even killing political rivals. Consequently, assassinations are common and blood flows frequently in Nigerian politics. Political parties are also responsible for the evolution of the Nigerian political culture of election manipulation and rigging. While preparing for an election, Nigerian political parties typically budget large amount of money for bribing the electoral commissions, the police, and other security officers working in the election process, the judges of the election tribunal, in case their help would come to be needed, and even representatives of other parties at the polling and collation centers. Nigerian political parties represent no moral or developmental principle. They are simply bodies set up to get access to the stealing and sharing of public money. Consequently, Nigerian politicians keep forming more and more parties. At one point, Nigeria had more than 90 political
political parties. Having lived through all this for 63 years in Nigeria, most of us Yoruba are strongly opposed to continue with it in our own new country. Very many of our people have in recent years submitted written proposals demanding that we should not have political parties in the politics of our new country. Most of these people suggest that we should have no party at all and that we should have a system of direct election in which a candidate for a national election contests election in his own constituency without a party and without being assisted by any party. The winners of their own constituencies then assemble in the National Assembly building in our nation's capital city to be sworn in as our House of Representatives. The House of Representatives then elect the Speaker and the Prime Minister and the legislative business of our national government. Proceed. From there, there will be no party to control our legislator or to direct them to speak or vote one way or the other. Legislator will speak and vote according to their own conscience, and there will be no room for corruption. But here is another possible option. Many others among our people believed and proposed that we should have political parties, and we should employ the law to regulate the party system very tightly. These proposals include A. Law limiting the number of political parties to 3. B. Limiting the amount of party dues, party membership card, legally prescribe swearing before the nominations for any national or local election to observance of laws, guiding the party to strict respect and observance of electoral laws and regulations, to rejections of illegal interference with propaganda for any external interest. G. Law empowering the nation to seek the order of a court to punish or even to prescribe any offending political party. The good news, path to prosperity,
well, that was Professor Adebanjo Akintoye message to many of us as we coming up to the end of us at exactly 10 p.m. local time. This particular polling station will be closed and they will now be heading to the collation center to get the result in as quickly as possible. So some of the platform we're going to keep to for now, while some of you we will be ending that platform so that we can be able to move now from this end. Just show you a little bit of the the environment where the election, I've shown you that already. If you look towards there, you can see that this is as many streets across where the UK election is being held. This one is being held right now in one of the schools. Sometimes they are being held in a library, and sometimes, depending, they are being held as well in a town hall as well. But as we know, in England, Wales, Scotland, everybody's out there, making sure that they can decide who becomes the next prime minister. It's been 14 years of the Conservative, but the most important thing is, you have the right to decide who you are voting for. I've done mine already. She's gone back in and she has now fulfilled her civic duty. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, reporting for the Koikimedia from London on the 4th of July, and we say Happy Independence Day to many of you in America. But one day, the Yoruba will have an official Independence Day, and this will be the system where there will be no intimidation when you go into those polling units. So for now, like I said, I'm going to be ending some of the platforms so that we can be able to what it looks like. Then we will then end this transmission officially. So mo kí gbogbo yín tí ẹ ń gbọ́ wa nílé, ilé tẹ́ ń wò látàárọ̀ òun náà ni ìdìbò tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní ìlú òyìnbó níbi tí election has been almost getting there. The campaign has gone for hours, and we will now move swiftly from here as we will be showing you just a little bit. Bear with me. Like I said all the time, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Says, Koiki, you are now showing Nigerian back home what election looks like in the UK and not selection process, the practice in that contraction. Thank you so much, Alaji or Alaja Fasilatu Adeleke. intimidate you, and nobody has the right to do so anyway. So if you're being intimidated, it's because you live in Africa that doesn't respect human rights in the first place. But if you're living in the UK, I don't think anybody has the right to intimidate you to decide who you vote for and who you're not voting for. So what is happening right now is many people that have now made their way to cast their vote. So we're good to go. So as we leave this polling unit, like I said, is one out of many polling units in the UK where as many elections are now being held. So what you're seeing right now is one of those polling units right now where many people have cast their vote. So we're going to move now. As we move from here, we are now ready to take you a little bit into the area ministry where we'll be giving you more reportage and more analysis. We'll continue when we get back home into the studio. But right now we are outdoor, doing what we love to do, doing the journalism that brings to you closer to your home. Shout out to those of you in the United Arab Emirates. I'm not sure whether Nigerians are allowed to vote in UAE, but if you live in the UK and you have the right, to also cast your vote. So you can tell that this is just a very small neighborhood, as many people that have done their voting have come out, gone back home quietly, and then we all wait for the conclusive part of the election. Inten wo ni ìdìbò tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní United Kingdom, ní England, Wales, Scotland àti Republic of Ireland, níbi tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí wọ́n ń lọ dìbò. Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti dìbò tí wọ́n máa jókòó nísìn láti béèrè pé níbo ni ìdìbò yẹn já sí. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa jí ìbò, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa nọra wọn pa. Mo kí ìyàwó Eunice Ládípọ̀, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, mo kí Imam Olówú, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa, mo kí gbogbo wa pé intanṣọ náà fúnra wa náà lélẹ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ ìdìbò tí a ti sọ fún yín pé bó ṣe láti rí nì, àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Nísìn ẹ̀yin náà ti wá rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ ìdìbò yìí bó ṣe láti rí gangan òun náà ni a ti fi wọ̀nyí. So ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kíni, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbà pé ibi tí wọ́n ń pè ní Nàìjíríà kò sí lára country, torí pé tó bá jẹ́ country ni ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe gbogbo ohun tó yẹ kó ṣe. Once again, as we take you to the final outside, we will then be bringing the broadcast to a conclusion this evening, being the 4th day of the month of July 2024, as the 2024 UK general election continue. And as we continue the reportage, like I said, we will be in central London tomorrow, God's willing, where we will finally bring you what is happening and when the result would officially be announced. So where we are right now is the main road, as you can see, where nobody again, there's no intimidation, there's no ballot snatching, there's no election malpractice, there's nobody shooting, and all these and so many reasons why some of us have said, are we sure that Nigeria is a country, or is it? Thank you so much, Iyawa Ireti Ibisuwa. Mo pronounce orúkọ yẹn dáadáa nírọ̀lẹ́. Thank you so much, for being part of this live transmission. And as you all know, this is what we love to do, bringing you the reportage all the way from, London this evening. A very beautiful weather. As we say all the time, everybody has the right, but that right has been restricted in that contraction known as Nigeria. So, in time, òun ni mo kí Ọba Tọ́pẹ́ Martins. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Bó ṣe láti rí ní jẹ́jẹ́ ṣọlá ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àmọ́ intimidation wọ́n jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n ti intimidate wa, wọ́n ti parọ́ fún wa. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ lọ máa dìbò ní every 4 years. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò lè mú kankan jáde torí pé they've controlled the narratives. Wọ́n ti fi owó tó yẹ kó lò láti fi tọ́jú aráàlú wá kó jáde nígbà ìbò. And at the end of the day, many of you also buy into the criminal politicians. Politicians are very smart. They're very smart people. Wọ́n mọ̀ bó ṣe máa ń deceive yín. Wọ́n mọ̀ bó ṣe máa ń sọ fún yín pé ó sì máa dá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ fún Ọlọ́run pé kó sì máa dá. No, Ọlọ́run kọ́kọ́ la máa sọ fún. We need now to exit Nigeria as quickly as possible. That is the only solution. That's the final conclusion. Anything less than that, irọ́ ló ń bẹ níbẹ̀. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin wa, ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa, nígbà tí a bá ti dé ìkànnì iwájú lọ́hùn, à ń mú ètò yìí wá sí ìsàlẹ̀. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ ti rí i pé ìdìbò tí a lọ witness ní London Borough ti Hawaii, òun ni pé bó ṣe ń lọ níbí báyìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ibi tó ń pè ní England, Scotland. Kò sẹ́nì kankan tí ẹ rí lójú títì tó ń ṣe bí jàǹdùkú, tó ń jalè, tó ń ba nǹkan jẹ́ nítorí pé wọ́n ń dìbò. Àwọn ọmọ lọ sí skul lénìí, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ti lọ síbi iṣẹ́, tó bá dé láti ibi iṣẹ́ ni wọ́n lọ cast vote wọn. Ó ṣe láti rí gangan náà nìyẹn ní ìlú tó bá wà civilized, but Nigeria wà civilized nítorí pé àwọn òyìnbó tó kó wa papọ̀, àwọn màálù wọ́n bá lò gbogbo èèyàn lọ, àwọn ni wọ́n kó wa papọ̀. Ìyẹn làwa ṣe ń sọ pé no, èyí tí a ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà àsìkò tó, ilé tó máa lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kíni, ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa kájọ sowọ́ papọ̀, ká béèrè fún òmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Òun nìkan ní ọ̀nà àbáyọ. Kò tí bàbá wa Moses Ọláníran, béèyàn kan bá sọ fún yín pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ kankan òun ni pé ká lọ máa dìbò ní ọdún mẹ́rin, irọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀. Ó lè àbẹ́rẹ́ ológbò yẹn bó ṣe ó yẹ sùn kalẹ̀, kò kú ó sùn ní ọ àbẹ́rẹ́ ológbò mìíràn. So ẹ̀yin tí orí ìkànnì wa, bí ẹ ṣe ń rí gbogbo tẹ́ ń rí, òun ni pé ó ṣe láti rí pẹ̀lú owó tí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ní for 60 years plus, but it's a failed madness country tó ti bàtà ayé rẹ̀ jẹ́. Gbogbo àwọn ilé tẹ́ ń rí, àwọn council ló ní. Ìjẹ́ council ṣiṣẹ́ ní state ẹ̀, ìjẹ́ council tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó wà nínú local government yẹn, àbí ìwọ ló kàn á assume pé council mọ̀ pé ó wà níbẹ̀. Council tí ó wà ní UK, ó mọ gbogbo èèyàn tó ń gbé lágbègbè wọn, torí pé o gbọ́dọ̀ san council tax. O gbọ́dọ̀ san council tax. O ò lè gbé níbì kan nílùú òyìnbó kó má san council tax. So ìwọ àti council ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ní relationship. O gbọ́dọ̀ ní account tí wọ́n máa sanwó, tí wọ́n náà máa sanwó fún wọn. Lára àwọn council tax tá à ń san, òun ló fi ń kó ilẹ̀, ló fi ń kó this, ló fi ń kó that, ló fi ń tọ́jú àgbègbè. Torí gbogbo títì tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ní Nàìjíríà, iṣẹ́ local government ni. But nígbà tí wọ́n empower local government, àwọn olè governors wọ́n ti gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé gbogbo owó tí ẹ kí local government rí. Ìyẹn làwa ṣe ń sọ pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ kan tó kù náà ni pé kí President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, kọ́lọ́n bá wa fún lálàáfíà tẹ̀mí gúngùn, kó tètè ṣe the needful, kó lúkàlùkù máa lọ. A fẹ́ báyàn kankan ṣe mọ́, because we are not one and we can never be one. Bó bá wá jẹ́ pé ìwọ ṣì wà lára àwọn tí àǹtí ẹ̀ tó lọ dìbò lẹ́ni tí wọ́n yìnbọn fún, 21 people were killed. Èyí tá a mọ̀ nìyẹn o. I'm sure the numbers is more than that. But ìdágbọ́n ni pé 21 people, according to àwọn electoral observer tí a ti gbọ́hùn wọn lẹ́ǹkan, wọ́n ní nígbà election tó ṣe ní Nàìjíríà o, ìyàn 21 ló ṣe ikú, ní ikú wá pa wọ́n. Imagine, just because of election. It shows that that country does not value human lives. Ẹ̀yin tèmi, bí a ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. Mọ́ṣáláṣí kọ́ nìyẹn, ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ni. Mo sọ fún yín pé nílùú òyìnbó wọ́n máa ń ti ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì pa ni lẹ́yìn ìjọ Sunday tó bá ti ṣèjọ́sìn. Àbọ̀ bóyá àwọn choir master bá wá nírọ̀lẹ́ Thursday, bóyá pásítọ̀ àbí reverend nìkan ló máa wà nínú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn. Gbogbo ìtókù ó tún dijọ́ Sunday, àti iṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe gan ládùúgbò. Ó ń fún àwọn tó jẹ́ resident, ẹni tó bá nídìí reference tó yẹ pé church yẹn ló ń lọ, tó dẹ̀ fẹ́ kọ́ mọ́ ẹ̀ attend Catholic school, wọ́n lè bẹ̀ kọ́ lẹ́tà. Gbogbo eléyìí náà la ṣe ń sọ fún ìtẹ́ wà ní ilé pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kọ́ là ń bá jà, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń bá ẹ̀sìn kankan jà. Ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ayé wa òun là ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ọ̀rọ̀ bá a ṣe máa gba òmìnira ayé wa, tá a ṣe máa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. Ṣé wọn náà rí pé lẹ́yìn pé kí wòlíì ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yìí kó wọlé kó sùn, Sunday, ìjọ Sunday nìkan ni wọ́n ń ṣe mass. Bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa láti Monday títí di Sunday kò sí nǹkan kan tó bad níbẹ̀. But n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé ìyẹn kọ́ ni freedom ta ní ni pé a ní the government tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó máa respect aráàlú through the voting system. Ìdìbò tó lúkálùkù lọ ń ṣe lénìí láti fi gbé ìjọba tó máa ṣe tiẹ̀ wá fún ẹ, tó máa respect ẹ, tó máa fún ẹ ní ẹ̀tọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aráàlú. So gbogbo ìdí tí a ṣe ń kígbe, tá a ṣe ń pariwo sórí lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ pé ọ́fíìsì parish ló wà lẹ́yìn, èyí tó kù òdìjọ́ Sunday. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ilé tá à ń sọ yìí, ilé tá à ń sọ lénìí, bá ṣe máa sọ títí tá a máa fi gba òmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. Mechanic workshop nìyẹn, níbi tó ti ń ṣe táyà ní gbogbo iṣẹ́ tí oníkálukú wa bá mọ̀ ló jẹ́ ká máa fi jẹun. But wọ́n ti pa bísínẹ́sì mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ nígbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá níná tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún 24/7, tí transportation ò ṣiṣẹ́, kò sí títì. That economy is as dead as nothing. And on that note, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. London tẹ́lẹ̀rí, ìná máa fi wọ̀nyí lójoojúmọ́ kó lè mọ̀ pé kò sí kankan níbẹ̀. It's just the system is working, and it has worked is because it is well planned. Nigeria is not planned because gbogbo àwọn tó kó papọ̀ sínú ẹ̀ a lè plan ìkọ̀kan nígbà tá a kì í ṣe ìkọ̀kan náà. Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wá, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ tún ẹ̀ àsìkò tó kí a sọ pé enough is enough. Yoruba nation, no going back. Yoruba nation for life. Have a very good afternoon. Daniel sọ pé our council tax, the salary of the police, it pays the salary of the police, firefighters, teachers, and other civil services. It also pays the military personnel. So that is how far I can take you this evening. And on that note, mo sọ pé Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. If you have enjoyed the program, thumbs up, share it, and join us again when we come live. Bye for now.